Hey everybody, welcome into another exciting week of the Overwatch Core's very own The Briefing. I'm Redmage, and one of those sides
That
over
one, yes,
there
that one. That
is
thumb. There
that
you go.
side over there, that guy. Right there in the
Right there.
poster, that's Target. That's
I'm the
MTarget right
poster?
there.
Cool.
Yeah, that's right. You're a poster in a suit of armor. It's amazing.
Woo.
Yeah, so this is this is our weekly podcast here where we're going to talk a little bit about Overwatch. We are still unfortunately not in the beta, so we can't talk about maps and
Well, there are things we can talk about,
stuff
though.
like it.
So
But
don't fret.
there is a bunch of stuff to talk about. Patch notes we talked about last week, but I guess like I you know. I guess we'll get to the easy stuff first off the top here. The competitive play that's already started to go on with Gosu Gamers and ESL and things like that. They've been seeing Gosu Gamers especially have been seeing a pretty good amount of teams, really good EU presence over there, and I think competitively, I think Overwatch has a really good chance
Oh, definitely.
of being there, even without the ranked play, which
Definitely.
I'm gonna complain about in a minute.
And I think the biggest concern is the main point that we're going to talk about today. So it's probably going to be a short video, but is the hero limit. They issued in customs. You can play a custom match limiting it to one hero per one hero per team. So you can only play one Reaper, etc. And we talked about it last week and remarked that ESL was going to be doing it, but a lot of teams were boycotting it for various reasons. A lot of teams ended up signing up for it anyways after the fact. But what we saw is Gosu Gamers tournaments, both on Saturday in the EU and then Sunday in NA. You had a 2-2-2 meta that popped up. Claims are that Seagull invented it. Seagull's squad, Classic Mix-Up, are the people that are saying they came up with it. Whether or not they did doesn't matter. The core piece is 2 Winstons, 2 Reapers, and a Lucio and a Zenyatta, or 2 Lucios, or you flex on your supports, pretty much, is the point. And everybody's complaining that's broken, that it's everything else. First of all, remember, this comp has worked in 2 tournaments, maybe a week, okay?
2,
so
yeah.
We've got a week of overpowered. First of all, we're in a beta.
We're 2 weeks in. Yeah, 2 weeks into this beta, to beta 2.0.
And second of all, you're a couple days in, and there are ways to address that specific composition. I don't know what they are, but I'm sure that they're out there. And this is how, I understand that a lot of you are coming from, the shooter people are coming from TF2, where TF2 had imposed ranks, and we'll get to that in a moment. You're coming from, Counter-Strike, where there's not quite as much variety, or you're coming from another shooter, or you're coming from a MOBA where you're guaranteed to only have 1 per team, because that's how it works, because that's how it's coded into the game. And this is the concern that, again, Seagull, Tavik, several... I think I heard Tavik talk about it. If he didn't, I apologize for misquoting you, sir. But several TF2 players is the point. Is lots of people who have lots of experience in a community-limited mode have said the community should not be limiting how many heroes you're allowed to have.
Yeah.
Their argument is that the game should do that for you. If you're insulting the player. Backing back up to quote Seagull again. Or paraphrase him, because I don't have it written down word for word here, about the ESL tournament saying, see, look, we were right. We should have done all 1. And the people who watched it said it was easier to follow because there were...
Yeah,
because there were more different heroes. But there was only 1 Winston bubble. There weren't 4, or maybe there were 2 instead of 4. I understand that it's easier to follow, but back to what Seagull said. He said it's insulting to the players because it says that they can't figure out how to get around it. And it's insulting to the developers because it says that they don't know how to balance their game.
Yeah.
And I can agree with that, because you should never have you should never have too large of a discrepancy between your competitive game mode and your pub game mode. Right. You're allowed to have pubs that are objective. As you play through, okay, you're done. You're done after one side. That's fine. That's not too big of a difference between regular and competitive. Mm-hmm. Or even something as different as, the way that the clocks work in competitive versus pub. Again, it's perfectly fine. For example, for another objective-based game that's all about stopwatch mode, Dirty Bomb, currently out right now. I played in it briefly and ranked and tapped on the competitive scene from time to time. That's how that works. Is in ranked and competitive, you have 15 minutes flat.
Yep.
End of story. Losing which side I'm on my camera.
Where you at?
Where am I? Flat. You have 15 minutes, end of story, to complete all of it. In pub games, in objective mode, which is just one side, you don't have 15 minutes to get through the first point and everything else. You have 5 or 10 minutes per point. So you have 5 minutes point 1, and then when you complete that point, you get 5 minutes added on for a total of 10 minutes for the second point, and then 5 minutes again added on for a total of 15.
Right.
That I'm totally fine with being the kind of difference that we're talking about. But when you're saying this is banned from this and this isn't banned from that, especially when you're not the developers, when Hi-Rez says from Smite, we're banning this god because she's broken right now, that's the developer saying that this god is broken right now.
Yeah.
And the developer saying
the god's
honestly,
not they all do that. I mean, League, Riot did it with League.
Yep.
I mean, everybody, and that's fine. And I have to absolutely agree.
And small tweaks like that, I'm totally okay with.
It's great. And you're absolutely right, because when you start saying, look, we love this game, but you know what, we're only going to allow you to do it this way, our way. And again, I think that takes away from what Overwatch is. Overwatch is supposed to be this mad dash kind of game. And and to have that feel. Now, do I think that there should be 6 or 7? I'm sorry, the 7, but like 5 or 6.
Yeah, there's
the same,
7 Winstons. You broke the game.
Yeah, 7 Winstons. You broke the game. But I mean, like if you have like 5 or 6, of one character, yeah, okay, I can see where that can get annoying. But leave that to the developers to take care of.
Yeah.
I mean, right now we only have 21 heroes to choose from. And basically saying, look, you have to treat this like every other MOBA. You can only do it this way.
Yeah.
Is a little bit ridiculous.
In their feedback form, they already said that they want to look at banning heroes. And I'm like, whoa! Time out!
Yeah.
Like, no, do not introduce a hero ban format. You've only got 21. No.
Yeah.
Like, Smite didn't have bans, period, until 40. Heroes of the Storm only has it in competitive. Okay, so there's an example where somebody had to go out of the way to add it, but... okay, again, it's a MOBA. It makes sense due to the number of characters.
Right.
I think the core thing here that both of us are trying to say is it is a beta. It is designed to be tested, and you should be testing the competitive merits of the game as it stands, not as you think it should be. Because if you are gimping the competitive testing of the game, you're drastically impacting what Overwatch, what Blizzard,
what it could become,
because you're giving yourselves even, looking at ESL, looking at Ghost of Gamers, looking at ourselves. I know what I think competitive Overwatch should look like.
Mm-hmm.
What I think might not be what's best for Overwatch. I am going to follow, okay, first of all, whatever the boss tells me it needs to be, but second of all, I'm going to take into serious advisement what Mr. Kaplan and I just forgot the name of the esports director. Oh, I'm so bad at this.
Torch.
Yes, Torch. I'm going to take into serious advisement what these guys who are paid a lot more money than I am, to do. I mean, they've been around the game longer, first of all.
Yeah.
And second of all, again, these guys have been developing it and designing it, and they have a vision. Again, the purpose of adding in other rules are because, you're breaking the vision. It's like in a MOBA, the reason that you have only one character per team of a specific character or god or hero or champion is because that's the way the game mode evolved.
Yeah.
Heroes of the Storm is a MOBA. Overwatch is not. Overwatch is an objective team-based shooter. It is an OTS, an OOT, whatever.
OOT,
it's OTCS for character or class based.
But it's I mean going along this, I mean you are some sort of just godlike bastard to think that you should dictate how the game should be played based on what you want the game to or how you want the game to be played.
It's not wrong to think something should be different, but you've got less than 3 days on this one meta. Don't panic.
Don't change it. Yeah, I mean, you don't like, oh, you know what? This Mona Lisa thing is really great, but what would be really great is if we just made her smile all the way, or made her frown.
Here's a better example.
This ambiguousness is awesome.
If you're dating a girl or a guy, and you two go on a vacation together, it's your first time that you two share a bedroom, and you realize that they snore. Not that bad, but they snore. Okay. Are you gonna dump them just because they snore? Okay, if you will, okay, fine. Let me know in the comments down below if that's actually a serious offense.
As we just see like tears pour from viewers' eyes.
But
like,
no, but the
she
point being
left
is,
me 'cause I-
but no, the point is that it's something like that. You know, that's what the meta is right now. I mean, okay, not really, but the point is that the professional players, when you're competing, you're trying to win. You're not trying to make it look nice for the viewer. You're not trying to. The point is that you're trying to find what combination of heroes works best. And if right now that answer is 2 Winstons because the bubble's kind of strong and his ult, and the biggest thing is that his ult's on too low of a cooldown. So if you tweak the cooldown on Winston a little bit,
his ult is
problem
ridiculous
solved.
now. Yeah,
and
go for it.
Then the reason you have the double Reaper is to handle the double Winston. So of course, like you handle the double, if you tweak Winston slightly, which is on the developer's end of things, this whole thing resets again, and it comes back to the developers to keep a hand on the pulse of the game. And to be willing to not choke it out just because their hand's right there, but to go in and tweak it. Yeah, I can see you looking at me like, yes, just choke yourself a little bit. Just force choke. Yeah,
that's right.
No, calm down, Lord Vader. But you know that's
your lack of faith in the developers is disturbing.
Exactly, that's what it comes down to, though. Is the lack of the community's faith in the developers is disturbing. And my last point here is going to be to the community at large, the people that, especially those people who are writing those awful posts on the forums. We talked about it last week, and I'm going to say it again. Think before you speak, especially when you're talking to developers who are putting their hearts and souls into this game. There are some actually horrible things that I read in there. And I'm not just saying, like, oh, that's an awful idea. I mean, like, actually offensive things that are being said by people. And I don't get it. Especially the people who are offended by the fact that you are getting to play a $40 game for free.
Yeah, you know what? Just give us your account.
Exactly. If you're that offended by not getting a beta icon or a beta
just give
something,
it to us because we'll appreciate it.
Give it to somebody who will actually test it. And that's something else is that if you find something that breaks the game, like actually breaks it, not like, oh, multiple Winston is OP, like, okay, we figured that out. But like, oh, hey, you know, when I McCree roll but get knocked up by anything, it doesn't reset the McCree roll. You have an obligation as a beta tester to report it. Now, obviously, because you're not getting paid, you do not have a paid obligation to report it. But be kind, be good to the developers.
We can't make the game better if you don't say something.
Exactly. So, you know, those are the things that you
say like we're involved in it, but you know, it's.
I'm total this. I'm actually in a warehouse in Blizzard Studios.
Yeah, that's right. they just stashed us under the stairs like Harry Potter. That's
something like that. But no, so other than some ranting and raving on beta, it really, again, it's a beta. It's being changed. Have some faith in the competitive scene. And have some faith into the developers. And have some faith in your fellow man or woman or gamer or mouse pad or whatever it is that you want to have faith in. But you gotta have faith. Faith.
Gotta have faith.
There we go. Got it. But
there's your ringtone right there.
So $5.99. Please text that too.
That's right. So you know, and kind of branching off onto all this is that a lot of publications have been kind of reading the forums, reading the tweets, and looking at a lot of recent articles done by like Red Bull and PC Gamer and a lot of these other ones. They're kind of absorbing this negative attitude toward Overwatch, and it's bringing into question on whether or not Overwatch is going to have the legs, and that to me is terrifying, because if these big publications or these big sites that kind of do these kind of things, then little sites like Overwatch Core, Gosu Gamers, you know, that kind of thing, you know, and I'm not saying that we're small, but it's just that
we're smaller. We are.
Yeah, we're smaller than like Red Bull or PC Gamer and stuff like that, you know, as far as like views and stuff like that. But you know, if these people are like, well, you know, the community is not behind them because they took these, you know. I took these 6 weeks off, and then they came back. They're still not they're doing this thing with the beta, and then these people aren't happy with this, and these people aren't happy with this, and you know, then they talk to like one or two people that they, you know, that say, oh well, you know, it's competitive, but with these, there's no limits on this kind of, you know, it's like, eventually that negativity is going to be like, hey, look, maybe we don't need to put this game out and make it competitive. Maybe we just put it out there and then we just let it sit and we go on to our next project,
Yeah.
and then we're just kind of stuck in like. I hate to make the conjunction, but the Team Fortress Hell. Right there, where it's like, where it just sits, where you just sits and you collect your stupid hats.
Fun fact about TF2: they're actually finally putting into beta ranked matchmaking in TF2.
Thank God.
Yeah, just in time for it to die. I've had people tell me the TF2's not dead yet, guys. I get it, but the game runs worse than Overwatch does. Right there.
Yeah. But I mean, it's like when you start looking at stuff like that, that's when you start seeing the impact of these privileged people, and I call them privileged because they're in the game, they're playing
they're calling the shots, quite frankly, and
they basically get to shape the game, and instead they're shaping public opinion.
Which is fair. I'm not denying you the right to shape public opinion as a player,
which is a way to do it, but at the same time, it's like. You people are shooting yourselves in the face because it's like, oh, I hate this game. I want it to be like this, and I want it to play like this game or like that game. Don't play those games.
You're entitled to that opinion, though. You are.
You're 100% entitled to that opinion. But at the same time, it's like, express yourself to the developers in a professional manner and not. Oh, you bunch of bleep, 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 bloop, bloop, bloop. Who do you people think you're bleep, 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 bloop? They've been doing this for years. If you don't know how long Blizzard's been doing competitive gaming, then you just turn your computer off right now because it's been decades. I'm pretty sure a lot of the people that are complaining about it haven't been alive long enough to play, Blizzard's original stuff.
That's harsh.
I'm just saying.
I mean, it's possible, but
I mean, it's fair. I'm not saying that everybody is, but what I'm saying is like a lot of the people that are doing it, that are that have that kind of not really immaturity, but that abruptness at expressing their opinion, don't understand like the lengths of which games like this take. It's not like, hey, I'm going to make Candy Crush in an afternoon. Because you can make Candy Crush in an afternoon. They're not copying, Minecraft mods and putting them on Xbox Live Arcade. They're not copying, Flappy Bird and putting it out on iOS, tomorrow afternoon. This is a delicate, balanced game. And if you want them just to throw it out and so you can complain about it, they'll throw it out and complain about it. I had the distinct pleasure of playing Ghost years ago before they canceled it, and that, my friends, would have been a fantastic multiplayer game. I'm just saying, it would have blown your minds how good that game was. But you know what? Nope.
Just as a heads up, most people don't know what Ghost is.
Yeah, you don't even know what Ghost is.
They think you're talking about Call of Duty Ghost. So just a heads up.
Yeah, StarCraft Ghost. Look it up. And be like, oh, that would have been awesome if they'd have come out with a game. But you know what you never saw? The multiplayer. They never put out the multiplayer. Very few people got to play the multiplayer. And it was amazing. Just saying. I didn't have to sign an NDA for that, so I can say all I want about Ghost multiplayer. It was amazing. So anyway, but that's enough of my bitching. And really it stems from the fact that
old man JR here. When I was your age. Get off my lawn! No, to be fair, when you were some of their ages, computers didn't really have a whole lot of processing power.
I can remember going, oh man, TIE Fighter! I gotta, that was like a whole hard drive to play TIE Fighter. But again, we all know we want Overwatch to succeed. Otherwise, we wouldn't play it. We wouldn't be as passionate about the game and about that kind of a thing. But for the love of God, cut Blizzard a little slack. Know that they know what's going on, that they know that they want to fix it, that they want to put out the best game possible. Because again, this was born out of a dead project. They picked it up from the ashes to create, the friggin' mother of dragons, so to speak. Let them give you dragons. And,
we're
what
gonna
we
wrap
have.
here. We're gonna wrap here, and
'Cause
and
it's
I will say again, you know, constructive criticism is helpful. When there's a bug, when there's something wrong with the game, let it happen. To those organizations that are able to host tournaments right now, have some faith in the players that they will actually be able to find a way to work around some of these 2-2-2 comps. Trust in, again, trust in the devs, trust in the players, and trust in the organizers, because I know that we made ESL to sound like the bad guys, but we also know that ESL is trying to make the best viewing experience for their fans. So I respect that decision to try and do that. I don't necessarily agree with the way that they did it, but I respect that overall. So anyways, thank you all for watching the Overwatch Core briefing. You can find us on Twitter at Overwatch Core, CORPS, overwatchcore.com, once again CORPS, or you can find us on Twitter at our respective handles, mine at MTarget Product, his at Redmage JR, which I'm kind of pointing at right now. Yeah, there we go. So, yeah, thank you all very much for tuning in, and we will see you all next week for more of your Overwatch-related news.